Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about a really cool new unique item. It is actually a timeless jewel or a historic jewel, which is called Reclaimed Malevolence. So this item is currently very expensive, and a lot of people are already using it. I just wanted to highlight some of the better use cases for it. The way you make this is you drop these from I think the sub bosses, and then the boss combines it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't done that much Abyss, but I'm here to tell you they're pretty cool. So there's 4 of these like sub-jewels: Baleful Dominion, Destructive Aspiration, Festering Vengeance, and Extinguishing Grasp. And as I understand it, you put these in an altar, and then you sacrifice them for Reclaimed Malevolence. Now, what's fascinating about these Abyss jewels, and especially Reclaimed Malevolence, is you go here and you're like, oh, I wonder what it does. And then you go to Timeless Jewel passives, and the way we conceptualize Timeless Jewel is they change keystones in its radius, but there's no radius when you put it here. And you can see My Eternal Youth here is still totally fine. But then you go to the Ascendancy and you'll see that it changed one of your Ascendancies. And those Ascendancies are Sanguine Bargain, Spiteful Allies, which these two I'm not really going to talk about too much. I think they're interesting, but I want to more highlight, for example, Ephemeral Bolts, which I've first seen from creator Exile Angela, and then also Jungron's poison version with Benos. So pretty damn cool stuff. I will not be exploring it too much, but it looks pretty damn cool. What it basically does is projectiles have 5-meter maximum direct flight, which is kind of like it stops at a certain point. And for projectiles like Fireball or KB that explode whenever they stop, it's like a wall, right? It is actually really good for shotgunning potential. Super, super cool keystone. The one I want to talk about, though, is From Below. So I'm currently setting up my character, and I'm a chieftain spellcaster. More on that in a separate video, but my main problem here is mana. And there's certain ways to fix it, right? EB Mom. You can do that, but it is high opportunity cost, and it is very awkward to do, and it's still not going to be perfect, and certain map mods are still going to screw you around. So what about this? What about From Below? Insufficient mana doesn't prevent your spells cannot recover mana. So you cannot recover mana, but I can just infinitely spam. You can see right here, I have all my mana reserved, and I can infinitely spam. Now, you might at first think, that's cute, right? That's definitely worth something, but is it that OP? Well, there's 2 reasons why it actually is. There's actually 4, but so let's talk about it. So the upsides are, you can run all map mods related to less recovery. So it doesn't matter what's on there. You can always cast your spells. And that is actually very, very comfy after trying it for quite a bit. You can use RF of Arcane Devotion for free 27% more cast speed. So this is an interesting one. RF of Arcane Devotion is the counter option to normal RF, which normally gives you like 39% more spell damage. This one gives you 25% more cast speed with an Empowered 27. And it is simply busted because cast speed is just not the same as just more damage. It also makes your Frostblink a lot faster. So it's very, very comfy, right? So the reason why this works is RF of Arcane Devotion burns your mana. So usually it's annoying. You have to work against it while also casting your spells. But it doesn't turn off when you have no mana. It only turns off if you have Blood Magic because of its description. So you cannot use Blood Magic and cheese it. But if you reserve all your mana, it's fine, right? So you just get that from the keystone. It's really, really insane. You can also reserve all your mana, which means you don't have to have an awkward amount of mana that you have open to cast your spells. You also don't have to go EB, Mom, or anything like that. And EB, once again, has to fight with certain map mods that are related to Energy Shield. And last but not least, and this is a big one for me, you can add as much cast speed as you want. And this is especially relevant when you're running a Headhunter, which gives you Soul Eater stacks. And a lot of the times, that means your mana will get awkward. There are some downsides. If you look at the keystone here, you will see that it only says doesn't prevent your spells, but it does prevent your attack. So you cannot shield charge around, which is an option for a lot of people to get faster. You will most likely have to go for Frostblink of Wintry Blast. The next one is you have no Timeless Jewel and you lose an Ascendancy, which is obviously a big one, or a Bloodline, you lose an Ascendancy. The small point stays the same, and you lose your Timeless Jewel because this is a limited to 1 historic. And also, it's annoying to get, and I want to talk about some quirks of this jewel on that topic real quick. There's 3 things you have to know before getting this jewel and trying to get the right combination for your Ascendancy. The first one is there is 4 different Ascendancies, so it's a 1 in 4 to even get that to begin with. So it depends on the seed. So for example, I have a 40-50, and you might think, oh, 40-50 now means that no matter what, you will have From Below in a random spot. But that is also wrong. That's not only what it does. You will get that if you play a chieftain, but it also changes depending on Ascendancy. Actually, I don't know if it changes depending on class or Ascendancy. I have not tried this out yet on, for example, a Juggernaut, but it definitely changes depending on class, and I'll show you. So I'm now on my Hierophant, which I already stripped, but let's just see what happens if I put it in one of the jewel sockets right here. That's not the same keystone. And you can see this is the same jewel. It's the 4050. Same jewel. Does something completely different on a Hierophant. Now, obviously, the positioning has to be different because every Ascendancy is differently set up. But the fact that the keystone changes is wild. And just so you know, it does not change depending on jewel socket. So that is not a thing. But the reason this is important is you might have to spend upwards of 10 divines or so to not only get the right keystone, but also get the right positioning. Because if it overrides one of your Ascendancies that you don't want, for example, let's say you really want that keystone, that Atlas Ascendancy, you now just overrode your +1 totem. So that sucks. So you have to get the right keystone, but then also the right positioning. And a lot of people prep this on their latest character and then reroll into a new character with their new gear. So you might be divining and divining, thinking you got the right keystone before starting your new character, but you actually have to divine on your new Ascendancy because it will change. So just keep that in mind when you get the jewel or you build around it, because it definitely cost me quite a bit to figure that out, but there you go. Now, another quirk of this jewel is it will change all the small passives leading up to the jewel socket. So you can see right here, all of these are transformed, and they're like random things. Hinder enemies on hit. There's a whole drop table on PODB. I'll link it down below in the description. Strength and dexterity, some of them are pretty efficient, right? Like this gives 12 attributes in total, 12 attributes, and I think it rolls even higher than that, but I don't remember. Regenerate 1 mana, some random like nonsense, right? But you can do like you can go crazy, like a split personality, right? You can put this up here, all the way up here, and now all of a sudden, all of this is getting changed, right? And obviously there's a lot of RNG there, and most of these are going to be useless, but a lot of them are fine. Now, just to make this clear, you cannot tattoo over these nodes, so you can't just pick and choose. As you can see right here, tattoo cannot be applied, right? So if you have a tattoo already, it also doesn't work. It will just override it. Now, more than just this Reclaimed Malevolence, I would highly recommend to also go through these other uniques. If you go here on PODB, you can check Timeless Jewel Passive, and you will see that they all have different stuff. I haven't really tried out the normal ones, but they seem like more conventional jewels. And there you go. They also have their own quirky stuff, and some of them are very build around. Some of them are going to be broken this patch. And yeah, I just wanted to go over this particular one right here that I'm going to be building around. More on this build soon, but it's shaping up to be extremely fun, and I'll show you guys once I'm ready. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. More to come. And since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.